Hello and welcome to Electric Football Week 5, 2015. And you know why football is the best sport? You want to know why? Skins Eagles, Chargers Browns, Viking Broncos, Cowboys Saints, Rams Cardinals, Colts Jags all kept you on the edge of the seat till the end of the game. That's why football's better than any other sport.
Wow.
I'm Stu Pace, Steve Brown.
Steve Brown, and amazed by Stu's passion. So let's jump into the games. We got Colts at Houston, and holy crap, Matt Hasselbeck is still in the league.
Honest to God. Wasn't his wife kicked off the view already?
Yeah, he lasted longer than she did. Elizabeth Hasselbeck, right?
Close enough.
What? Am I wrong? Raven Hasselbeck?
I don't know.
Oprah Hasselbeck?
Crazy blonde Republican moron.
Okay. Anyway, I think the Texans got their horns blown off last week by a much improved Dallas team. I think the Colts sneaked one out against a pretty bad team themselves. And I think they'll beat this bad team. I like the Colts and 40-year-old Matt Hasselbeck to take them.
Yeah,
if luck isn't bad.
Yeah, luck's still questionable here. We're recording on, what is this, Tuesday. So he's got a few extra days to recover. Houston's defense is a horrible joke. I'm not loving Indianapolis' team, but they should have enough to beat the Houston Texans here. Houston's just falling apart. I don't know. I don't know what happened to that team, but they should go back to college.
They did say that luck was trending in the right direction as of today. Chicago at KC, and Jay Cutler limped onto the field like a brave Willis Reed and led Chicago to a victory. So they're not 0-4. But I don't see that as really affecting this game. This game has two of my favorite all-purpose backs. Underappreciated Matt Forte and probably appropriately appreciated Jamal Charles, who you've heard me talk about. Just guys that do it all and do it all fairly quietly.
Yeah.
But what a career Matt Forte's had. Just you look up the stats and you're like, yeah, Matt Forte's pretty damn good.
I know, I keep not believing in him, but he keeps producing.
But he's not good enough to win this game. I'm taking the Chiefs. Stu?
Chiefs are who we thought they were. Andy Reid should retire. I'm absolutely convinced of that. I'm taking the Indians. They are home. That's the only reason I'm taking them. Go Kansas City.
All right. Seattle at the Bengals. And I'll tell you, if people were wondering whether Cam Chancellor is a difference maker or not, you can put one in the win column under Cam Chancellor. What a play. Against Calvin Johnson, Megatron. And I heard Chris Carter today talking about, well, if I had been Megatron, I would have gone low. Oh, please. The goal line is right there.
He still had a yard to go.
Yeah, you're an amazing, athlete yourself. You're 6'5", you're strong, you're fast. You're going to think, oh, I'll get down and we'll make sure that we hold on to this ball. Mm-hmm. Hell no, Chris Carter. Loved you as a Viking. Not so sure about an announcer. Definitely would not have you at my rookie symposium either. Though I do keep Stu around as a fall guy. Anyway,
the court jester.
I have to tell you that Seattle's O-line looked lost. Ziggy Stardust was in the backfield the entire time. And Seattle did not look impressive. They should have lost to a winless team. I'm taking the Bengals.
Wow. All right. Well, Detroit did keep Seattle busy, and quite frankly, they did punch the ball out at the end. That should have been Detroit's ball. However, they didn't score. So the point is, Chancellor makes a great play. The guy tapped the ball out of bounds.
Oh, he yelled doink.
Yeah. Doop. This is me pushing it out. Doop.
KJ Wright, right?
Yeah. But the refs blew it. I mean, the refs definitely blew it. However, that doesn't negate the fact that Seattle struggled against Detroit, who hasn't looked good at all this year. I don't usually take Seattle on the road, but I love this matchup. I think it's the game of the week, and I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks on the road.
All right. The team from Washington, who I haven't given enough credit to, against the team from Atlanta that I've probably given too much credit to. But until somebody stops Devonta Freeman, and all of a sudden Leonard Hankerson is becoming an option.
Yeah, isn't he 47 years old?
Throw that ex-Miami Hurricane, right? Throw that, I think so. Throw that in with Julio Jones, and you've just got way too much firepower for the Redskins to keep up, especially with Atlanta at home. Give me the Falcons. I'm riding that bird.
Yeah, Redskins, great drive at the end of the game to beat the Eagles last week, but the Falcons rolled. I mean, I too, I've sort of not been paying attention to Atlanta while you've been giving them maybe too much credit. I've sort of just not even been paying attention to them. I can't go against them until they lose, so I'm going Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta's defense is still pretty darn questionable, but in this game, you got to go Atlanta.
Yeah, they are home.
Jags at the Bucks, and this is a tough one. I mean, you haven't really had a great body of work to figure out what Winston is going to be. Bortles looks solid. The Jags are, to me, they seem to be headed in the right direction. So in the battle of weak Florida teams, and there's a lot of weak Florida teams.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's
A
no.
lot of weak Florida teams. I'm going to take the Jags on the road just because I think Bortles' experience, though it's not great, you know, he's only got a year of experience on Winston, but I think that gives him an advantage here. I'm taking the Jags.
Bortles, Winston, Hamster, who cares? No one's watching this. However, I would like to say to the Miami Dolphins, what are you doing? You fire the coach, you bring up.
Well,
Dan Campbell's a nice guy, but he's a tight ends coach. Anyway,
Oh wait, the Dolphins are on. They're on.
I'm on the bye. I have nothing to talk
so
about.
you can't wait and rant
I
about
can't wait for the
Dolphins.
game.
Okay. Where are we? Saints and Eagles.
Sure.
Okay, Breeze is back. Doesn't matter if it was him or McCown. The Eagles are going down. What's DeMarco Murray got? 47 yards this year? He had that in like one quarter at the beginning of last year. He has to be saying to himself, like, what the hell went wrong? And I believe he was asked, like, are you getting the ball enough? He was like, of course I'm not getting the ball enough. And I'm thinking to myself, when you do get it, you ain't doing anything with it. I don't know that I'd give it to you.
He's not used to running behind Swiss cheese.
No, I know. Chip Kelly seems to have gutted that team in the idea that my system is more important than the players. Let me tell you, players make systems. I'm going to take the Saints on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Eagles here. They are an absolute buzz-fussed mess. I can't imagine that Kelly's going to last this, into next year as the head coach here. You're right. He takes guys, tries to fit them into his system, and just like Philbin, you had, Amdekhan Suhr, who I can't change your friggin' name. They were in this read play where they're waiting to see what the offensive line is doing before they react. Meanwhile, these are four of the biggest beasts in defense that Miami has, and they're not rushing the quarterback on every play. Kelly's doing the same thing. He's taking guys, trying to fit them in a system instead of playing the guys the way that they should play. He's just an absolute mess right now. But I am taking them on home here. I don't like the Saints. The Saints are heartbreakers. Yeah, they beat Dallas. Wah, wah, wah. I don't see them winning on the road.
Okay. Another quite boring game.
That was a boring rant.
Sorry. That's fine. All our rants are boring. Though I will say this. Chip Kelly, what you need in that system is a mobile quarterback, and you come up with Sam Bradford. And I like Sam Bradford, but he ain't going to run.
The glass menagerie, Sam Bradford.
Yeah, he's got crystal ankles. I mean, like, you ain't sending that man. Oh no, I think Bradford's going to keep it instead of pitching. Like, are you kidding me? You can see like a linebacker salivating. Bradford thinks he's going to run.
It's like, Sam, don't move. He's like, I don't.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Sorry. Browns at Ravens, boring game. I like the Ravens in a low-scoring, boring game. I mean, could you get more bland uniforms? Could you get more boring players? This is a horrible game to me, and I'm just taking the Ravens based on talent alone.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens here too. I just can't see John Harbaugh going, 0-5 here. It doesn't make sense. Cleveland is playing okay for Cleveland, but it's still
the
Cleveland.
Ravens won. They beat the Steelers. They can't go 0-5.
Oh, they won?
The Ravens beat the Steelers.
I fell asleep and they were losing.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get onto that
This
later.
is why you shouldn't watch this show, man. This is garbage.
But the game of the week is coming up right now.
Yeah, that is true.
St. Louis at Green Bay. And let me tell you.
It's the Steve show.
Clay Matthews is going to go up and just be like, Nick Foles, you ain't no Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
I like the pack easy in this. Aaron Rodgers, as they say, is a bad man. And I don't see a way that I've been on the Rams bandwagon, but on the road, I don't see a way that they can keep down the pack. Give me the pack.
Going into last week's game, I would have agreed to you, but after watching Sunday, I'm not so sure. I'm taking the Packers here just based on the fact that they're home. But let's see how good Rodgers is here against a defense that is they're just crazy good right now. I don't know what happened to them in the third game because I think they played poorly. But last week, holy crap, they were great. I think whoever wins this game might just be your NFC participant in the Super Bowl.
Wow. I thought I was on the Rams bandwagon. Stooges jumped on and started whipping the
I'm
horses.
taking the Packers.
Let's
I
go.
am taking the Packers, for the record.
Bills, that was a hell of a great rant for St. Louis. St. Louis is the best team in football.
No, I didn't
but
say
I'm
that.
going against
I
the-
said whoever wins this, I think will be the participant.
I'm busting.
Ah!
Bills at the Titans.
Oh, this could be the game of the month.
Anyone else
But
think
it's
the
not.
Bills are pretty pissed off because that D got banged around pretty badly by the Giants?
Yep.
Gave up a lot of tough rushing yards to Williams. Couldn't tackle Rashad Jennings. I think the Bills come back with a vengeance here. I think they take it out on Marcus Mariota. I like the Bills on the road.
Yeah, unless there's a Music City miracle here, I don't think we'll be seeing Rex Ryan's veins popping out like they were on Sunday. Giants had a great game plan, executed perfectly. And, you know, isn't that the name of the game? Have a good game plan and execute it perfectly? They did that. I think the Bills, you know, this week do the same thing to the Titans. They'll have a very good game plan. They'll execute it perfectly. But 17 penalties in one game, that's Rex Ryan for you.
And you just made me think of Frank Wycheck. I should get a shirt that said Wycheck threw it forward. Anyway, Cardinals at Lions. And the Lions should have had the ball at the one, as we talked about before. You know, it's a ref discretion, so it's not, it's a judgment call, I guess, so it's not reviewable. But when the guy goes up, like, does a little wavy wave and binks the ball out of, and then, like, you know, celebrates that he did it. Like,
Yeah.
I binked the ball. Now,
Obvious.
yeah, that, I don't know what kind of judgment that
Riff,
ref-
I'm going to hit it now. I'm going to hit it.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit it.
Look, it's
I
up,
hit it.
It's up in the air. It's almost out. I'm going to put this damn ball out.
Did you see Riddick next to him, the line? He's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Right next to the ball.
Oh, yeah. Was that Riddick? There
Yep.
you go. Okay. Yes, I did see that. Who evidently he knows the rules better than me, because I knew you couldn't, because of that Raider fumble, I knew
Yeah.
you couldn't bat it forward and into the end zone, but I didn't think batting it out of the end zone was illegal.
I didn't know it was a rule either.
I wouldn't have known that off the top of my head.
I didn't know the Ravens won the game.
There you go. Time to refresh the memory a bit.
Again,
folks.
why are you watching this show? Look, here's how I see it. I was watching the game. Okay?
I was just going to finish. I'm taking the Cardinals. I think the Lions become that 0-5 team that Stu was talking about.
Well, I was watching the Lions and the Seahawks when I wrote this. I'm watching this. Well, I'm writing this while I'm watching Monday Night Football. I just don't like the Lions' offensive play calling against Seattle. It didn't make any sense. They weren't playing to the strength. They were trying to hit Calvin Johnson too much. You got other players on the team. It just seemed kind of one-sided to Johnson just to try to win the game. And I understand he's the best player on the team, but for God's sakes, if you're only going to go to him, they're going to cover him. The Cards are angry after losing to the Rams. I did get that right? I'm
Yes.
taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, they really, in Detroit, they really haven't been able to maximize the potential of some of the guys they have out there. Golden Tate, Eric Ebron, Amir Abdullah. They seem to be floundering, and
Tate was great last year, and they just can't seem to get the ball to him this year.
perhaps it's time for an offensive coordinator or a coaching change. Anyway, we've got the well-rested Patriots at the massively banged-up Cowboys. And it seems like this would have been, you know, a potential game of the week, but
Yeah.
it really isn't based on the injuries. Pats, with time to game plan, are a dangerous, dangerous team. I don't care that they're on the road. I see the Pats winning this one easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the evil genius Belichick. Like you said, they've had so much time to prepare for this one game, and they're not even preparing for Tony Romo. Unless Joseph Randle runs for 300 yards in this game, which he won't, the Patriots will probably walk away with a pretty easy win.
Okay. Broncos at the Raiders. And I watched the end of, I was listening to the game on the ride up from, by the way, if I miss anything up from last week, we have some family medical issues. So if you guys can send some prayers to my Aunt Sandy, I would appreciate it greatly. Anyway, I caught the end of, coming up from visiting her, I caught the end of the Vikings game, and I was already sad, and I knew I was going to be even sadder because there was no question in my mind when the Vikes got the ball that they were going to give up sacks. I figured there would be a fumble in there or an interception. The Broncos D just overwhelmed them on that play.
Yep.
T.J. Clemens, I believe, is our tackle, and he was just like, go on. There's Mr. Bridgewater over there.
That last play ended up in disaster, but it was a disaster from the word height.
Yeah, there was when the Broncos pinned their ears back and put their butts up in the air and said, "Here we come." It was a mismatch,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to be able to do that against the Raiders and against Carr, which negates Amari Cooper, who's had a great start to the season.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see a way that the Raiders can put up enough points. And Peyton Manning has almost become a game manager. He's not driving them for the game-winning touchdown anymore. He's getting them close enough for a field goal to put them ahead, kind of thing. And it's working for him. So I got Broncos in this one.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the Raiders are playing with some swagger. They're not expected to do much, in a lot of these games. So they're having fun out there. Carr, Murray, and Cooper are one of the most fun trios to watch in football right now. I'm actually watching Raiders game. I've become a fan of those guys. And I should hate the Raiders. They always beat Miami, but these guys are fun to watch. I think they have nothing to lose. I'm pretty sure that this is Peyton Manning's last year. He just doesn't have it. But I'm going with an upset here. The AFC West teams, they always play each other tight. It's usually close, 3 points, 6 points. I'm going to go for an upset here. I'm going to take the Raiders.
All right, good stuff. One of the things that's been really weird about this season, or two of the things I should say, is time management has been a real problem for a lot of teams, especially teams with the lead, which you don't see that often. No, I'm serious. And the Giants have suffered that a lot. The other thing I wanted to talk about, since I was talking about time management, Pittsburgh had problems with that. And kicking around the league has been a problem.
I love that they moved the extra point back. That has changed the game.
It has changed it for the better.
Good move.
I do wish they would move the kickoffs back, and you would occasionally see a run back, because I miss them.
The ball on the 20.
I miss those. I know, you might as well at this point.
Go with my plan. If you get it through the uprights, it's 1 point, and the team gets the ball on the 20. Boom. If they're kicking that far, put it through the uprights.
Wow, the Stoop plan came out of nowhere.
Huh? I think it's a great idea.
All right, comments below, please. Anyway, San Francisco at the Giants. Giants coming off the best game of the season, to my mind, even with some questions about, should they have run, should they have passed, should they have run down the clock. You're winning by like 14, and you're worried about time management. It's a little weird, but the Giants have struggled with that. The old, please don't score a touchdown so we win this game from earlier in the season. But Colin Kaepernick, I mean, can somebody with a better football knowledge than me please give me a quarterback that went from, championship, Super Bowl, nearly winning the Super Bowl, championship game, one pass away from winning that and going back to the Super Bowl, to just imploding.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks clueless. He's got, Clay Matthews is mocking him now. It's hard to watch. Jim Tomasulo is in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he has inherited a big mess, and I don't see it getting any better against a Giants team that is steadily improving.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line, I believe my comments last time was they would not stand up to the Bills. Not only did they stand up to them, they kind of dominated them.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm going Giants.
Yeah, if they play the same way they did last Sunday, I think the Giants have an easy win here. I don't know what's going on with Kaepernick in San Francisco, but it's obviously going to be a big, house cleaning at the end of the season. Giants, they should be winning these games. They have enough talent on that offense to win these kind of games. It was a surprise that they were struggling. It's not a surprise that they played well. I'm taking the Giants. I don't love them this year, but I'm taking them here.
Okay, and we finish up with another game that's kind of ruined by quarterback injury.
I know he'll go out next Monday.
Steelers at Chargers. Yeah, the recent Sunday night and Monday games have just been horrific. I mean, you used to be like excited about a Monday night game.
Well, last night was pretty good.
What's that?
Last night was pretty good.
Okay.
And so was the Saints Cowboys. I mean, it was a C.J. Spiller 99-yard catch and pitch and get.
Clemson man, by the I
forgot to mention Clemson.
Forgot to mention the nice win over Notre Dame, and Vic Beasley's doing quite well. DeAndre Hopkins is doing quite well. Sammy Watkins and Mr. C.J. Spiller. We got some talent out there in the NFL right now. Anyway, should be talking about the Steelers at the Chargers. To me, that little Danny Woodhead is just going to dominate this game. No, I'm being facetious, but throw him in there with Keenan Allen, and I think the Chargers at home have way too much firepower right now for the Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers are better than the Browns,
Well, I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, but they're not better than the Chargers.
I think we all agree on
that.
Well,
I mean, I think if the Steelers were playing the Browns, I'd take the Browns here. But Phillip Rivers still has some oomph in him. Didn't have a great game. The Chargers beat the Browns, but barely. So the Pittsburgh's better than the Browns, but the Chargers are better than the Browns and the Steelers. I'm having an off night, folks. Take the Chargers.
We went long, which is rare for us. We
'Cause I
went
was
20 minutes.
Out of my mind.
I love you. Stu, he
Back
hates
at
you.
you. I have no idea what I'm doing. Fire me.
That was electric
Fire
football.
Philbin. Oh, that happened too.
Rip up the
Go
script.
Dolphins. Prayers to Aunt Sandy. See you next week at Electric Football. Good night.
Bye, guys.